You know what? Onions can help fight off the flu. And apparently they can do it in various ways. Like you can put them in your socks, which somehow transfer their disease-fighting abilities through your feet, or you can drink onion-infused water to treat or prevent illnesses like colds or the flu. Well, unfortunately, these are all false beliefs. When it comes to directly combating cold or flu viruses, onions are unlikely to have a super impact, but overall, they're good for you. At the same time, onions do have a high concentration of quercetin. It's a pigment known for its potential anti-inflammatory properties. The correct way to open a new deodorant is by manually prying the top off. Nope. Removing the cap from a new deodorant stick involves twisting it. This move triggers the mechanism to push the safety cap off. This method helps avoid the hassle of manually prying the lid off, leaving deodorant residue under your nails. Now, what about the ideal time for using deodorant? You might think it's in the morning before you leave the house, but the optimal time to use deodorant is in the evening. At this time, your body temperature is cooler and your underarms are less moist, providing a greater opportunity for the deodorant to work effectively on your skin. Applying deodorant in the morning is still okay for those people who don't suffer from excessive sweating. So, if you sweat a moderate amount, there's no reason to change your daily routine. Now, keeping your shower curtain inside or outside the tub is a choice. But apparently, putting the shower curtain inside the tub reduces splashing and prevents water from escaping. The decorative cloth curtain belongs on the outside, whereas the plastic one should be on the inside. I mean, the whole idea is to prevent splashing water. Now, watering your plants on scorching hot days harms them. Rain showers occur during the summer season all over the world, and plants easily survive in these conditions. At the same time, when you water your plants on hot days, a substantial amount of liquid might evaporate before it can effectively benefit the plants. It's worth noting that this might be different for some sensitive indoor plants, such as African violets. It can result in leaf damage if you pour very cold water directly onto their leaves. Now, let's continue with another garden-related thing. Tree roots only reach as far as the outer edge of tree branches. Myth or fact? Well, it's a misconception. The root systems of many trees can extend well beyond the diameter of their crowns. For instance, magnolia trees can have roots that reach nearly 4 times their crown diameter, while the roots of red maple trees can exceed their crowns by up to 3 times. It's easier to shuck corn before it's boiled. Well, in the past, before the invention of modern cooking methods, many recipes involved pre-shucked corn. However, you can still grill it with or without the husk when it comes to recipes like grilled corn. A recommended technique is to partially shuck the corn, leaving only a few layers closest to the cob still attached. This method retains moisture while also providing appealing char marks on certain kernels. Alternatively, you can cook whole, unshucked ears of corn in the microwave or by boiling it, if you prefer. Moving on with everyday items you've been storing wrong. Take eggs, for example. Leaving them in the fridge door is good for them, right? No, this can lead to a roller coaster of temperatures every time you grab a snack. As for nuts, they're happier in the fridge. Heat can make them go all wonky, especially if they're the kind with lots of good fats. So, keeping them chilled helps them stay fresher and tastier. There's another common myth about nuts. It's said that roasting them decreases calories, proteins, carbs, and fibers they contain. But no, both cooked and uncooked nuts have similar amounts of those. The main goal of roasting nuts is to enhance their flavor and crunchiness. Keep this in mind though. When nuts are roasted, the healthy fats they contain may get damaged, and in the end, this can result in a reduced nutrient content. Now let's talk about avocados. Don't toss them in the fridge if you want them to ripen on schedule. They like hanging out at room temperature. We can also put an end to another avocado-related myth. Avocados are fattening. Yeah, they do have a high fat content compared with most other fruits. But this doesn't necessarily make them bad for your health. In fact, avocados contain what's often called healthy fats, which can help reduce harmful cholesterol levels in your body. Now let's carry on with diet and food. Swapping white table sugar for unrefined options like honey, maple syrup, and coconut sugar is supposed to make your diet healthier. Well, don't fall for this myth. Sugar is sugar, no matter whether it's refined or unrefined. While unrefined sugars may contain a few extra vitamins and minerals, the advantage is minimal because they're still considered added sugars. These added sugars can add up and contribute to your diet's recommended limit on daily sugar intake. Full-fat products aren't a one-way ticket to weight gain. That's a myth from the 80s and 90s. Some people are still scared of fat, but it shouldn't be the case. Fat plays a few essential roles, such as protecting our organs, maintaining cell membranes, supporting health and development, and helping absorb vital vitamins. The key is to choose heart-healthy unsaturated fats like olive oil, canola oil, nuts, nut butter, and avocados over saturated and trans fats found in fatty meats and high-fat dairy products. There's a common belief that avoiding carbs entirely will make you lose weight. Well, that's a myth too. Low-carb diets have made their rounds, vilifying carbs, including fruits and whole grains. While some people have had success with these diets, it's usually because they've cut out highly processed carb-laden foods like chips, cookies, and white bread. You know, all the stuff we like. Eliminating an entire food group isn't the best approach, as you might miss out on essential nutrients. Another belief is that you can get rid of body toxins with a detox diet. Well, sorry, most detox diets don't live up to their promises. Your body is already good at detoxing itself with the help of your liver, kidneys, and gastrointestinal tract. You don't need to buy any special products. If you want to rejuvenate your body, focus on eating more whole foods, staying hydrated, and cutting out highly processed junk food. Okay, I have 3 life hacks for you. These aren't myths. Firstly, you can stop a pot from boiling over by putting a wooden spoon over its top. Secondly, if you position a cheese grater vertically, there's a better way to use it. Lay it down horizontally. This way the process will be less taxing for your arms. My next tip is about your yoga mat. Leaving it in a hot, humid spot like your car can ruin it. Keep it cool and dry for maximum yoga zen. Now, many people know they should keep their fancy fragrance bottles away from direct sunlight. So, some people store them in the refrigerator. This isn't the right move, unless you want your perfume to lose its overall depth. I mean, yes, fragrances don't like heat or humidity, but the interior of a refrigerator is too dry and cold for them. So it has the opposite effect and breaks down the scent molecules. And please, resist the urge to rub a bit of perfume on your wrist. It may be tempting, but rubbing your fragrances is a big no-no. This practice not only muddles and weakens the scent, it also causes the top notes to evaporate quickly. They say that if you have old photos in your house, the right way to stash them is by putting them in cardboard boxes. Well, this is a misconception. These types of boxes can damage your memories. Go for acid-free archival boxes if you want your pictures to look as good as new. The next one is more of a hack than a myth. It turns out dishwashers are more user-friendly than we give them credit for. When you're loading or unloading the dishwasher, you can save your poor back from unnecessary strain by pulling out the basket. You might think that foundations are safe at room temperature, but if you store your foundation in a makeup bag, heat can mess with the oils in your makeup. So pop this product in a cool drawer. Eye creams and serums can benefit from the chill too. Organic or homemade cosmetics without preservatives should also be refrigerated, but always check expiration dates. I know I do.
What's hiding inside Coca-Cola cans and regular household batteries? Why do magnets affect breakfast cereals? Do crosswalk buttons actually work, or are they just useless decorations? What does that USB symbol really mean? I'm not sure I know the answers to these and similar questions, but I'm eager to learn the truth together with you. Let's find it out. Coca-Cola cans have a secret few people know about. Here's a Coke can. Let's submerge it in a highly corrosive alkaline solution. The aluminum dissolves due to a process known as hydrolysis, and we can see a plastic liner inside the can. It's made from a polymer or epoxy resin, and serves as some kind of a protective barrier between the aluminum walls of the can and the rather acidic soda. Despite a popular myth, Household batteries don't actually contain liquid, and if you accidentally cut them open, no toxic liquid will spill. Most of them are dry cell batteries, which are made of electrochemical cells. Those convert chemical energy into electrical energy. Larger batteries often house numerous small cells within them too. Even Tesla vehicle batteries consist of multiple small cells. When combined, they easily provide the necessary voltage. Most toothbrushes have differently colored bristles, but they aren't just pleasing to the eye. Those bristles, often blue, have a functional purpose. They're called toothbrush indicators, and their colors fade as you use the brush. The American Dental Association recommends changing your toothbrush at least 4 times a year. And by getting paler, these bristles help you figure out when it's time to replace your toothbrush. You'll probably agree that there's no better snack than a pack of chips. Some are flat, others have ridges. Is it just aesthetics? Not really. The main purpose of those lines on some kinds of chips is to help with the distribution of spices and seasonings. In other words, all those substances that make your chips taste like cheese are mostly stored inside the lines. Plus, the lines make chips crunchier. Now this one might be a surprise, but some breakfast cereals are magnetic. That's because they're often fortified with iron in the form of a fine powder. Due to the added iron, cereal flakes get attracted to magnets. All this may sound kinda alarming, but in reality, the iron content in the flakes is minimal and doesn't pose any threat to your health. That clear fluid in gel pens is called the ink follower or stopper fluid. The gel in such pens contains pigment particles dissolved in a polymer solution. The main task of the stopper fluid is to be a barrier to prevent the gel from evaporating or leaking out. Without this transparent fluid, your gel pen wouldn't function. The fluid always stays in one position and doesn't get dissolved with the gel. Neither does it move backwards or flow out of the pen. Many pedestrian crosswalk buttons, namely in New York, are placebo buttons. They do literally nothing when you press them. Originally, they were functional after being introduced in 1964, but today, most of them don't affect traffic lights, which are programmed based on the real needs of the traffic flow. Why do such buttons even exist then? It's a simple psychological trick, providing you with an illusion of control. You might have noticed that movie theater seats are almost always red. This choice isn't random, it has strategic importance, which is rooted in visual science. The thing is, red light has a longer wavelength. It means that it's the first color to disappear in low light. It allows the audience to concentrate better on the screen once the movie begins. Such a design choice enhances the viewing experience by minimizing distractions. Speed bumps are crucial for pedestrian safety, but at the same time, they can seriously increase car emissions due to the non-stop acceleration and deceleration they cause. To address this issue, some cities like London are testing fake speed bumps. Those are optical illusions painted on the road. They look raised from a driver's perspective, but in reality, they're flat. Authorities hope that this approach will slow down drivers without having a negative impact on the environment. Soda bottles are always filled in such a way that there's some space between the liquid and the cap. That's because soda contains carbon dioxide. It's a gas that can expand once the bottle's heated. If there's no gap in the bottle, it can break because of the pressure building inside. Also, when you open your drink, the gases go out in the form of bubbles, making the drink overflow. The gap helps with this problem too. The USB symbol, looking like a trident, has always sparked multiple speculations about its origin. One popular idea is that it represents Neptune's trident and symbolizes power and adaptability. But there's also a little bit less exciting theory. A man who claimed to have designed the symbol in the 1980s stated that it was supposed to represent connectivity. The large circle symbolizes a computer, while the attached shapes, the circle, the triangle, and square, stand for different outputs. The design of a tennis racket has a specific feature known as the throat. It's an open space below the head of the racket. This space isn't just for storing balls, it also improves the racket's aerodynamics by letting air pass through. It seriously reduces drag during swings. Speaking of tennis, tennis courts are usually built with a north-south orientation. It helps minimize the impact of the sun's position during the game, ensuring that neither player has the sun directly in their eyes. Look closely at a tram's overhead lines, and you'll see that its contact wires zigzag back and forth instead of going in a straight line. That's because all trams have pantographs attached to their roofs. The upper part of the pantograph is gradually worn down by the overhead wire and eventually needs to be replaced. To wear it down evenly, the wire is not installed strictly along the tram's path, but in zigzag patterns. As the tram moves, the pantograph slides along the wire, and it wears down evenly. Those cone-shaped water cooler cups? Their shape is intentionally designed to prevent users from setting the cups down. This allows employees to minimize the risk of spilling water on their desks around various electronic devices. Plus, less material is used to produce cone-shaped cups, which makes the process less wasteful and more cost-effective. It also kinda supports sustainability by encouraging people to drink their water quickly and dispose of their cups immediately after. Most suitcases have 2 zipper pulls, and it serves several purposes. First of all, if one zipper fails, the other can keep the suitcase closed. Even better, having 2 zippers allows you to have easier access to small sections of your suitcase without having to open it entirely. And finally, when you have 2 zippers, you can connect them with a padlock for increased security. Some plastic milk containers have dents on their sides. These dents serve several purposes. When milk spoils, it usually causes swelling and high-pressure buildup inside the container. That's when the dent pops out and doesn't let the jug blow up. Plus, if you decide to freeze the milk, it will expand like any other fluid. And then again, the indentation will pop out and prevent the container from breaking inside your freezer. If you ever had a problem figuring out why fake pockets exist, you need to hear this. The main reason is that if a clothing item has a specific cut or shape, pockets may spoil it. They can alter the item's shape either in the warehouse or already on the retail rack. The solution? Getting rid of the pockets in key areas. Plus, fake pockets are obviously cheaper, and they don't get stretched out. The thermos wasn't actually invented to keep your coffee warm. It was made by a Scottish scientist who wanted a safe place to keep his chemicals at a stable temperature. So, he took 2 bottles, put the smaller one inside the bigger bottle, and vacuumed out the air between them.
All right, let's dish about condiments. In French schools, they're keeping a tight leash on ketchup, mayo, and vinaigrette. Why? Well, they're trying to up their meal game for the students. The rule is simple. These sassy sauces can't be just hanging out randomly. No, they must be served up with the most appropriate dish. It's all about making sure those kiddos are getting the best meal possible. Bon appetit! Did you know that chewing gum is a big no-no in Singapore? Yep, it's illegal to bring in any old gum. But you can get your hands on some special medical gum if you really need it. And let me tell you, Singapore doesn't mess around when it comes to gum. You could end up with a hefty fine or even spend some time behind bars. Maybe they'll really chew you out. So just leave the double bubble at home if you're planning a trip over there. Now in Victoria, Australia, you've got to keep it down during certain times. Yep, you heard me right. No loud noises are allowed at night when everyone's trying to catch some Z's. And on Good Friday, try to keep it quiet all day long. So let's be considerate and give our ears a break, shall we? Now in Rome, you can't keep your goldfish in a boring old glass bowl. No siree, that's considered cruel because those little guys need their oxygen flow. Plus, if you keep them in a bowl too long, they might go blind. And get this, you can't even give away goldfish as prizes. The law's got a whole subsection about it. So, if you're planning on bringing a goldfish along on your next trip to Rome, make sure you've got a fancy tank ready for them. Now, let's play a little game. Check out this picture. Can you guess where it was taken? Good luck with that. That chair you see is called a monoblock chair, and it's pretty special. You see, most objects give away clues about when and where they're from. like the shape of electrical outlets or the labels on your shampoo bottle. But the monoblock? Nope, it's totally what they call context-free. Crazy, right? But get this, these chairs have caused quite a stir. Now, some folks think they're the bee's knees, calling them one of the world's most perfectly designed chairs. Others, not so much. They say the homogeneous nature of the chair is disturbing and the real evil of globalization. And get this, in Basel, Switzerland, they actually banned these chairs from public spaces from 2008 to 2017 to keep the city looking pretty. But they're back now. One more thing you can't do in Switzerland is flush your toilet after 10 p.m. Oh no, wait! It's an urban myth. Someone posted it on the internet, and thus the funky rumor spread. But here's the deal. Taking baths at weird hours is kind of iffy. It's not okay to run a bath late at night because it's noisy and rude. But listen up, there's no way anyone can stop you from taking a shower between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., as long as you don't hog the bathroom for more than 20 minutes. So go ahead, get your scrub on whenever you please. And make sure to flush the toilet, preferably with the lid closed. You don't want to have a germ convention in your bathroom. Uh-oh, looks like you don't want to run out of gas while cruising on the Autobahn in Germany. The authorities have put a ban on stopping your vehicle on the highway, so make sure you fill up that tank before hitting the road. And don't even think about taking a stroll on the Autobahn, because you could end up with a fine for putting other drivers at risk, not to mention getting run over. Hey, did you hear about the musician that was run over on the Autobahn? He B-flat. Anyway, stay safe out there. In Greece, wearing high heels at historical sites has been a no-no since 2009. Apparently, those pointy shoes can cause some damage to the ground and the architecture. So, if you're planning a trip to the Acropolis, you should leave those stilettos at home. But there's more. Did you know that high heels are also banned from Disney parks? Yeah, it's true. As much as we love our fancy footwear, it turns out that they can be a hazard in crowded places. So if you're planning a trip to the happiest place on earth, make sure you wear some comfy flats instead. Your feet and Mickey Mouse will thank you. In Canada, you're not allowed to use more than 25 pennies per transaction. Yep, it's true. This is all part of a plan to phase out the penny, which started back in 2013. So, if you're planning on paying for something with a bunch of pennies, you might want to think twice, like in a penny for your thoughts. But hey, at least you won't have to lug around all that extra change anymore. Now, sharing memes in Australia is technically illegal. Yeah, the Copyright Act says it's a no-no to distribute anything that might hurt the owner's copyright. But let's be real, Aussies love their memes too much to let a little thing like the law stop them. So don't worry, they're still spreading those hilarious pictures around. Traveling to Guatemala with your kiddos? Well, just make sure they don't try to sneak any party whistles onto the plane. Yep, you heard that right. Whistles are a no-no in this country. Apparently, too many people were using them to pretend they were police officers. So, to avoid any confusion, the Guatemalan authorities cracked down and banned them. But don't worry, they didn't ban fake uniforms. Go figure. Just kidding. If you were ever thinking of bringing a wheelbarrow into Nigeria, I've got some news for you. Don't even try. Sure, you can totally grab one once you're there, but they won't let you bring it across the border. Why? Well, they're all about supporting their own manufacturing industry, so they want to give their local wheelbarrow makers a chance to shine. Who knew wheelbarrows could cause such a fuss? Now, if Tunisia is your next vacay destination, listen up. Before you toss in a pencil for your Sudoku or crosswords, let me tell you something cray-cray. Pencils are a no-go in Tunisia. Yep, you heard that right. But relax, it concerns cases of import only. It's a mystery why they're banned, but better safe than sorry, right? So pack your bags wisely and leave those pencils at home. Who knows? Maybe you'll discover a new way to keep your brain sharp on the plane ride over. Hey, guess what? China has banned time travel movies and shows since 2011. Apparently, the authorities think they're too accurate and could mess with people's perception of history. So, if you're heading to China, you don't have to worry about getting caught with a DeLorean in your luggage. But maybe leave your Back to the Future DVD at home if you plan on watching it on the plane. Trust us, you don't want to mess with Chinese time travel laws. Hey, did you know that on the beautiful island of Capri in Italy, flip-flops are a big no-no? Apparently, the locals love their peace and quiet so much that they've made it illegal to wear, quote, excessively noisy footwear, end quote. But don't worry, you can still rock your favorite pair of clunky shoes in the rest of Italy. Just make sure to leave the flip-flops at home if you're planning a trip to Capri. And if you do decide to break the rules, be prepared to face the consequences. Tourists have actually been prosecuted for disrespecting this law. So, let's all be respectful of the locals and keep our footwear quiet, shall we? Have you heard about those Kinder Surprise candy eggs? Well, in the USA, they're banned. Can you believe it? Apparently, the little toy inside is a major choking hazard. And get this, some folks have even been caught trying to smuggle them in from our neighbors up north in Canada. Talk about a candy caper.
Wow, look at that! One Reddit user has grown a perfectly square salt crystal. And the best thing? It's edible! People in the comments shared their experience of growing salt crystals. They say that the best way to get such beautifully shaped crystals is by leaving a dish with salty water indoors for a month. The water will gradually evaporate and you'll have your crystals. This sure looks like a futuristic picture, but it's actually a real-life place. That's what was left after a volcanic eruption at the Cumbre Vieja Ridge in La Palma, Canary Islands. Now, I wonder what they're going to do with all that ash. It doesn't seem like it's impossible to just plow it away or wait for it to melt. Uh-oh, look at this tree. It seems to be desperate to get some help. Who knows what troubles it? Well, in reality, the tree has grown around this sign, and now only the word help is visible. Look at this teeny lightning bolt. How cute is it? Heh, just kidding. Someone just managed to capture a picture of them shocking their girlfriend. Still awesome. This circle appeared in the evening sky over Beijing, China. One Reddit user posted it and triggered a discussion about the nature of this bizarre phenomenon. Most people agreed with the theory that it was the reflection of a light show. Now, for some reason, this person stabbed a bottle of hand sanitizer with a tack. A few months later, they spotted something was growing on that tack. Ugh, can it just be good old rust? Whatever it is, that's one thing I'm not sure about. No one should use this sanitizer anymore. This is one of the most unbelievable and, at the same time, revolting findings. It's a snake shedding, and it comes together with the eye skin. Ew! All because snakes don't have eyelids. Instead, they have eye caps, specially adapted scales covering their eyes. And during a shedding cycle, these eye caps also come off. Ah, look at this beauty. Someone has grown this crystal from scrap copper and vinegar. Its scientific name is copper acetate. It took the person 7 months to grow such a large crystal. And it formed this way naturally. No one polished or cut it. Oh, and do you see that tiny tail? It's there because the crystal was grown on a piece of fishing line. Are these also some crystals? Frost? Spiderweb? Nope, it's just a red crayon on paper under a microscope with 400 times magnification. And this Reddit user from Sweden was going to work when they came across a geothermal anomaly. Look at this rock sticking out of the snow. It was warm to the touch, a bit warmer than human body temperature. There were also no tracks around this spot. So, what's your bet? What is this thing? Share your ideas in the comments below. And this person accidentally found a mushroom. Yes, a large legit mushroom growing inside a glass globe. I wonder how it got there. And, most importantly, why? Someone found an old light bulb in their grandparents' house. Its construction was finished in 1902. And still, the light bulb still functioned. I wish everything in my life was as reliable as that light bulb. Wow, marriage certificates were literally next level in the past. Look at this marriage certificate from 1895. It was discovered during the renovation of a cabin. Isn't it absolutely amazing? This tree is pretty cool. Its roots have long outgrown their spot, but look, it's still trying to keep them in check. Or rather, in shape. Rectangular shape. Uh-oh, someone's lost their cell phone. They must be devastated. But you know what? It's Nokia. I bet it still works. Have you ever seen a cut tree? If so, you must have noticed a series of concentric rings. These rings can tell you a lot about the tree, how old it is, what the weather was like during each year of the tree's life. Dark rings represent wood that grew in the late summer or fall, and light-colored rings represent wood that grew in the spring and early summer. So one light and one dark ring mean 1 year of a tree's life. But look at this tree. What can we say about it? I'm not really sure. Maybe that it's pretty, unique, and apparently likes to stand out? This isn't your regular tomato. Oh no, this one is a bit creepy because it seems to be growing more tomatoes inside its own body. Unsettling. And this person bought an ice cream cone. The only thing missing was the cone. Duh, I'll never call myself unlucky anymore. Some insect, perhaps a caterpillar, chewed on this leaf. But by doing so, it created a beautiful, symmetrical design. Do you think it was an accident or a plan? Another person bought this watermelon. Little did they know that after cutting it, they would be in for a nice surprise. Because just how beautiful is that? What would you do if you found such a watermelon? Be very attentive while roaming the streets of Rome, because you can come across such an amazing piece of art. A face carved into a cut tree. And this, may I call it a monster? Because it sure looks like one. Anyway, a couple found this thing while they were hiking in a forest. I bet they were scared, at least at first. On the other hand, I have a suspicion that someone helped this tree look this terrifying. What do you think? This one looks like a hieroglyph to me. But no, if we look closer, it becomes apparent that road workers were just playing a game of tic-tac-toe. The nerve of them! Would you get scared if you found this message on a random banana in a supermarket? Duh, I've got so many questions. Who exactly is coming? Why are they coming? And many more. One Reddit user found 4 or 5 such concrete shoes scattered around their town. They got curious, but no one could tell them who had made these shoes or why they had done it. And this person was lucky, or should I say unlucky, to find a cucumber without any seeds in it. Unlike this next Reddit user, when they opened their ice cream, they found 5 sticks in it. How did they even fit? There's more wood than ice cream here. I've heard that medical students sometimes perform surgeries on grapes to acquire basic microsurgical skills. Do you think something like that could have happened to this tomato? Someone found it in their garden, and doesn't it look as if someone had already cut it apart and then stitched it back together? Now look at this piece of cheese. What does it remind you of? Come on, doesn't it look like an edible piece of marble? This truck has been parked in this spot for more than 10 years. Apparently, it was long enough for a tree to grow from behind its bumper. The next picture is really hard to explain. Has the flame just moved away from the wick? Have they had an argument? Have they broken up? This leaves me with so many questions. One family got a real wake-up call when they received this newspaper. The sofa in the advertisement was exactly the same as their own. It must be a sign. They should really consider replacing this piece of furniture. If you tend to have problems choosing between red and white grapes, why not find a branch that has both, just like this person did? In this park, someone has messed up with copy-paste. I can't find any other explanation for the bizarre positioning of these benches. Can you? Someone has taken the request, just throw down a towel and save a spot for us, a little bit too seriously. Have you ever seen such tiny bananas? Neither have I. And this little patch of cloves has chosen to grow in a bottle. Because why not?